Calls for a multi-sectorial approach in the war against cancer reverberated during a forum that saw top researchers, scientists and academicians from Kenya and across the globe come together to discuss the cancer menace. Speakers noting it is time governments allocate funds for research on the disease.
We need to see more funds locally being pushed to research so that we don't always have to have looking for money externally. That is what we need, and because in local funds we'll be able to address the local problems that we as scientists we think are the solutions to our nation.
Can they partner with KEMRI, University of Nairobi and other institutions to strengthen research? Because research can enable us to really understand the problem and come up with the solutions to address those problems.
There is a need for more Black researchers to be able to be raised up, to be trained to do this science. And that's one of the things that we are trying to focus on.
The Ministry of Health has in the meantime been urged to scale up the training of healthcare workers to help sensitize more people.
The sensitization around the healthcare workers to have high index of suspicion in terms of the cancers and the types of cancers that we are picking in the country must be able to be scaled up. The government must put also resources around this to train more healthcare workers who are versed on the issues of cancer, and also to ensure that we are able also to pay for those indigents that cannot be able to pay.
Well, we're looking at normal. What's the normal? What's happening in our tissues before we get cancer? And we're doing that across 6 different countries. And Kenya, of course, we have collaborators here within the AC3 network.
Researchers meeting under the ban of African Caribbean Cancer Consortium AC3 also noted that environmental contamination predisposes people to the terminal disease.
We have had the stories of the environmental contaminations from herbicides and pesticides, but we are also looking at our genetics, because one of the studies that we are thinking some of the genetics of African people of African ancestry predispose us to have more aggressive cancer.
I believe that prostate cancer may be more common than we think because of the problems in diagnosis. Remember, men do not open up about their problems, not like probably women are easier to go to the hospital, but men will hide their problems.
The meeting brought together experts from the United States of America, 17 Caribbean and 7 African countries, including Kenya.
We've seen that we are waiting until the end, at the end, tail end, for us to do an intervention. We are focusing on treatment. My call is, can we focus on prevention? Remember, when it is at stage 4 and above, because we do the staging, then you get to understand that, yes, you can put this patient on chemo, and the cost is very high because they must be able to be admitted for the same.
Cancer being a killer disease in the country, the national government and the county government have been urged to collaborate, particularly in putting mechanisms in place in fighting the dreadful disease. Timothy Kipnusu for Easy Friday, Nairobi.